Plaintiff Margot Swift says the defendant is dating her son, and she calls the two of them dumb and dumber. Margot claims she allowed the defendant and her son to live with her, but when the defendant got pregnant, she tried to hide it from Margot. Margot's suing her son's girlfriend for the balance due on a loan. Defendant Brianna Bird says after she had her baby, she and Margot got in an argument about the baby's name. And then Margot tried to say that her son was not the baby's father. Brianna insists she was paying on the car in question and doesn't owe Margot for anything.
Start with you.
Okay, I met Brianna in about maybe 2011, 2012. She's dating my son. I refer to them as Dumb and Dumber.
Ooh.
When he's by himself.
That could be.
No, when he's by himself, he's like a boomerang. But what it is sometimes they make irrational decisions. That's what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, staying with me, Brianna had a baby and...
When?
What? That was, Azaria was born in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And we had it out over me not knowing what the baby's middle name was.
You mean, who had a problem with that?
I did.
What problem did she have with you knowing?
I'm not sure. She didn't tell.
You didn't ask?
You
didn't say, why can't I get the baby's middle name, Brianna?
Well, what happened is I actually...
Or even your son. He know?
He didn't know either, because I did the birth announcement.
Sir. Come on, stand up. State your name.
Montrell Swift.
At some point after your child was born, you didn't know your child's middle name?
I mean, I did, but they had, I don't know, they did it. Like...
What?
It was more like they was agreeing on it or whatever. I knew
agreeing
what it was.
What?
The name.
Did you know?
Yes.
At what point did you know?
I knew when she told me when my daughter was born.
All right. Did your mother ever ask you?
Not that I remember.
All right. I would believe him. I'm inclined to believe him. I don't believe he would go without knowing that. And he said, you never asked him.
Okay. Well,
and I think he would tell his mother what the middle name of her grandchild is. I can't speak for her and what I believe about a daughter-in-law or whatever, however you refer to her, but I believe your son. So you should have asked him.
well, I did ask him.
I don't believe
And he
it,
did
man.
not know. I did the birth
You ain't
announcement.
that him, Peck.
I did the birth announcement, which was a photo of the baby, and it had the baby's name. When I had to go get some paperwork to do childcare for the baby, I looked at the hospital record thing, and it was more added to it than was on the birth announcement. So my thing was, you could have told me when I did the birth announcement that this was not her name, that it was more to her name.
Ma'am, were they living with you?
Yes.
Okay. When the baby was born, or the day the baby came home, or the day after that, or the day after that, or the day after that, the day after that, the day after that, the day after that, did you ask, what's the baby's middle name?
Yes, again, I did.
Second day.
No, I didn't ask every day.
How many days? How often?
I was there when the baby was actually born.
Got that part.
We had agreed on the baby's name.
Middle name.
The full name. We agreed on it.
And she changed it?
She added to it, correct.
You had to agree on the baby's name?
Yes, we did.
That's the problem. Yeah, they wasn't listening to you, ma'am. That's what happened. You tried to interfere with the naming of their child, and they wasn't listening to you. That's what happened there. All right, so you all didn't get along from what years?
Probably like not too long. Before she had the baby, we would have ins and outs. Our relationship is not perfect. Some days we get along, some days we do not.
What would you all fall out about typically?
It'd be simple things like we don't get along about what's going on in the house. If I feel like, okay, well, you're not washing these dishes, and she feels like, well, I don't have to wash the dishes because I didn't dirty the dishes. So it was small things like that would add up and be like, you know what, maybe we should not live together. And so then they would move out, and then they came back and they brought a dog with them. And so I had the dog, and then they moved out again. When they moved out again, I ended up getting rid of the dog. When they came back, I get a text message later telling me that she was expecting a baby. I had no clue. I was like, somebody's telling me you're pregnant. She was like, no, I'm not. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna hold this text message, and I'm gonna count back in a few weeks, and we're gonna figure this out, because she's not always, I wouldn't say necessarily honest, but we don't always get all of the information.
Okay.
And a part of that is I don't ask a
She
lot.
was having a child living with you and couldn't afford it, and you were going to have to share that ticket. That's pretty much what your concern was. Why were you concerned that she was having a child?
Because they're living under my roof.
That's what I just asked you. All right, let me hear from you, ma'am. Give me some background.
Margot is my boyfriend's mother. We lived with her mostly 2015, and we got into a big argument
Over what?
about the baby's name. She accused me of lying about the baby's name, and then she accused me of the paternity of the child. So over that,
The child wasn't
his, because I lied
Okay.
about the name. So after that, we got into it, and then we moved out because we got tired of the drama.
Okay, and when was that?
August 2016.
All right. Sir, do you want to say anything? All right. And tell me about the loan, ma'am.
Okay, it was like right after tax time in 2016. I'm at home, and my son calls me at a car lot. I had sold him my other car, and he decided he didn't want it, so he was getting another car. He calls me at the car lot and tells me that he needs me for a cosigner. And I'm telling him, no, I don't really want to co-sign this car. I don't even want to be bothered with the deal. The gentleman at the car place gets on the phone and tells me that they only need me for 90 days. And after 90 days, my name can be off of this car. So I go ahead and I go down to the car place and I sign the papers, and I'm on the co-signer for the car. I didn't test drive the car, I didn't do anything. I just signed the papers. Oh, I had told Bree when I did it, I said, if I pay anything into this car, I'm going to take this car because I don't want to be on this. I don't want my credit messed up.
You obviously told your son that too.
Right, they were both there at the time. I was speaking to both of them. That's why they're both here. And so I went ahead.
But only one is being sued.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Because she's actually on she's had the license and everything. So
But
she's
he's the one that asked.
Correct.
He's the one that requested it.
Correct.
So he's part of it.
Yes.
I was just curious why he's sitting there and you bashing her and you haven't said one negative thing about your son. And now we see he's the one that asked for the money. And the man told you, I wrote it down, he called and said they only need it. They. Everything was they. He initiated and then it became they. But today it's only her because of this grudge. He's smiling and I ain't got nothing to do. No, go ahead. So she failed to make the payment, obviously.
Well, no, what happened is she started making late payments and so forth. And like a couple months into it, there was an accident. Someone ran into them in the car, on the side of the car. Brianna had insurance on the vehicle. We later found out that while she was paying for the insurance company wasn't fair to her because the insurance somehow was in my name. And so, like, once she got into the accident, they were trying to talk to me, and I'm like, why are you trying to talk to me about this accident? We get it settled down to where they find out that I never signed insurance papers. I'm supposed to be off of this loan. They said that they need to be able to refinance the car. Part of them needing to be able to refinance the car is someone's supposed to have a job. Someone doesn't have a job yet, so they have not been able to refinance the car and get the car out of my name. As of right now, the car is starting to go into collections because the bills are getting later and later. We're back to almost the original amount on the car, and I just can't do this because I help them with a lot of stuff as it is. Yes, we have a relationship that's
I got it.
dysfunctional.
Let me hear from you on the loan. Have you paid the loan? If not, why?
I paid the car note. I paid it on time before the due date until about May. I got pregnant. I started missing days from work, so it started affecting my check.
He didn't work?
No.
Why not?
He was having trouble finding a job. So while I was working, being pregnant, I was missing days from work. So it was affecting my check. I only had money for...
When's the last time your man worked? Yeah. Take all the time you need.
It's been a while. It's been
Like
a while.
what? Year? 2 years? 3 years?
It's been probably 5 months, maybe.
Okay. In 5 months, when was the loan taken?
In March 2015.
Okay,
16.
and things became tough on you
Yes.
when?
In May.
Go ahead.
So
And he got you up there getting sued by yourself. You want to say anything? Nope, I ain't got nothing to do with it. This is her problem. I know I called for the loan. I know we are joint. I know we have a child together. I know we are, for the most part, we're in a common law marriage, but nope. I ain't saying nothing. And you standing up here like you're a single woman. Go ahead.
In May, I started making late payments. It was either they gave me a 10-day grace period. I either made it before the grace period or I started making it after the grace period, and that's when it became a problem. But I'm telling her, like, I'm pregnant, your son is not working, and I'm having a hard problem paying everything, paying the rent, the bills, and the car note. So that's when it started coming late payments because I couldn't afford it. I'm doing everything on my own.
Okay. And do you have a defense against her, against paying her all the money as a result of you breaching the contract?
Yeah, I don't want to pay her the money. I make my
I
payments
know
on
you
time.
don't. Pardon me?
I made the payments on time.
No, you just said late. What are you talking about? Judgment for the plaintiff. My goodness. Have a good day. You just told me late.
Well, I'm glad we got this resolved, so then that way I can continue to try to be there for you and the kids, and hopefully you guys get it together.
Now, hopefully we can be a happy family.